No matter the injuries, the sicknesses, everybody stepped between those four lines and they played hard. They gave everything that they have.
But when it comes to death threats, like I'm talking about people who have come down to my address, following me home, multiple occasions people have made.
And a lot of people, when you're going through a lot of things, just kind of throw the towel in. But that's not something this team did. We played hard all the time.
Teresa Weatherspoon's fired. Angel Reese is caught in a doping scandal. And the Chicago Sky season? Total disaster. But here's the real shocker. Weatherspoon might have pushed Reese to use steroids. Yeah, you heard that right. The coach who's supposed to guide players? She's accused of encouraging illegal stuff. This isn't just about losing games anymore. It's way bigger. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Let's talk about how bad it got. The Sky ended up with a 13-27 record. That's not just losing, that's getting crushed game after game. But you know what's crazier? This whole mess could change everything in the WNBA. Imagine this: careers ending, teams falling apart, fans losing trust. It's not just about Weatherspoon and Reese anymore. This scandal could shake up the entire league. We're talking about coaches, players, even team owners feeling the heat.
But when it comes to death threats, like I'm talking about people who have come down to my address, following me home, multiple occasions people have made.
Many times this entire season is, one thing that I'm super proud of with this team.
The WNBA might never be the same after this. And trust me, we're just getting started with this crazy story. But how did we get here? Teresa Weatherspoon was once a WNBA legend, respected by players and fans alike. Now she's at the center of a scandal that could tear the league apart. What caused such a dramatic fall from grace? Let's rewind a bit. Weatherspoon wasn't just any coach. She was a 5-time WNBA All-Star, a defensive powerhouse, and a Hall of Famer. When she stepped into coaching, everyone thought she'd bring that same magic to the sidelines. And at first, it looked like she would. The Chicago Sky had high hopes when they brought her on. But things went south fast. The Sky's season turned into a nightmare. They lost 12 out of their last 14 games. That's not just a slump, that's a full-on collapse. And Weatherspoon? She was right in the middle of it all. Now, here's where it gets wild. Weatherspoon wasn't just losing games. She's accused of pushing Angel Reese to use steroids. Yeah, you heard that right. A coach, someone who's supposed to guide and protect players, allegedly encouraged illegal doping. It's like finding out your favorite teacher was helping kids cheat on tests. This isn't just about breaking rules, it's about breaking trust. The whole point of a coach is to help players be their best, legally and ethically. If these allegations are true, Weatherspoon didn't just fail as a coach. She failed as a mentor, as a leader, and as someone young players looked up to. The Chicago Sky didn't take this lying down. They fired Weatherspoon, sure, but they didn't stop there.
But when you have a great skill set,
right,
it normally will translate. And her skill set is the ability to go get the basketball.
No matter the injuries, the sicknesses, everybody stepped between those four lines and they played hard. They gave everything that they have.
I'm finally able to give myself a physical and mental break. God gives his hardest battle to his strongest soldiers.
They're suing Angel Reese over the alleged steroid use. This isn't just an internal team problem anymore. It's headed to the courts, and it could get ugly. But here's the thing. Weatherspoon's problems didn't start with the doping scandal. Reports say she was playing favorites big time. And guess who her favorite was? Yep, Angel Reese. Weatherspoon reportedly focused so much on Reese that she sidelined other talented players. Ever heard of Camila Cardoso? She's a beast on the court, but word is she barely got a look in because of Weatherspoon's Reese obsession. This favoritism didn't just mess up the team's performance, it turned the locker room into chaos. Imagine being on a team where you know the coach only has eyes for one player. How would you feel? Frustrated, angry, ready to give up? That's what the Sky players were dealing with. And Reese? Her performance took a hit too. In 5 of her first 10 games, she scored less than 10 points. That's not the Angel Reese we know. It's like Weatherspoon's intense focus backfired, putting too much pressure on Reese and leaving the rest of the team in the dust. The craziest part? Despite all this, Reese still has Weatherspoon's back. After the firing, Reese said, "You were an unsung hero in my life. We built a relationship in a short amount of time that will last forever. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, but the passengers are thanking the driver." This whole mess shows how things can go wrong when a coach loses sight of the bigger picture. Weatherspoon went from WNBA legend to cautionary tale. She got so focused on one player that she forgot about the team, the rules, and the integrity of the game. The coach isn't the only one caught in this storm. Angel Reese's first year in the WNBA was supposed to be her grand entrance. Instead, it turned into a wild ride of highs and lows. How did a rookie sensation get tangled up in one of the biggest scandals in WNBA history? Let's talk about Angel Reese's rookie season. This girl was on fire. She was leading the WNBA with 13.1 rebounds per game. That's not just good, that's insane for a rookie. And get this, she set a record for consecutive double-doubles. Reese was looking like the future of the league, a star in the making. But then things got weird, really weird. Suddenly, there were whispers about steroid use. Yeah, you heard that right. The same player who was dominating the court was now facing some serious allegations. It's like watching a superhero movie where the main character suddenly becomes the villain. And it didn't stop there. Reese disappeared from the team for a while. The official story? A wrist injury that needed surgery. But come on, we all know there was more to it than that. It's like when your friend says they can't come to your party because they're busy, but you see them posting selfies from the club. Now here's where it gets really crazy. Even after all this drama, even after Weatherspoon got fired, Reese still had her back. She went on social media and poured her heart out, saying Weatherspoon was the only person that believed in me. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion, but the passengers are thanking the conductor. Reese didn't stop there. She said, "I came to Chicago because of you. You were an unsung hero in my life."
Is how competitive they are and how hard they continue to play each and every night.
Asked her to address her feelings about rival Indiana Fever's Caitlin Clark.
You can't help but to be proud of your team leaving it all out there no matter what.
It's touching, sure, but it also makes you wonder, what kind of relationship did these two have? Was it just coach and player, or was there something more going on? Let's be real for a second. Reese's season wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. In 5 of her first 10 games, she scored less than 10 points. That's not the Angel Reese we expected. It's like watching Michael Jordan airball a free throw. You know something's off, but you can't quite put your finger on it. So what's the deal here? We've got a rookie who starts off breaking records, then gets caught up in a doping scandal, disappears for a while, and comes back defending the coach who just got fired. It's like a soap opera, but with more rebounds and less evil twins. This whole mess shows how tricky things can get in pro sports. You've got young players looking for guidance. You've got coaches who are supposed to mentor them, but sometimes that line between mentor and enabler gets blurry. It's like when your older sibling helps you sneak out of the house. They're supposed to be setting a good example, but instead, they're helping you break the rules. In the end, we're left with more questions than answers. Was Weatherspoon really helping Reese, or was she pushing her too hard? Did Reese feel pressured to use steroids to live up to the hype? And what does this mean for the future of the WNBA? The sky just crashed and burned. But you know what they say about hitting rock bottom, right? There's nowhere to go but up. The question is, how high can they soar, and who's going to lead them there? Let's talk about the mess the Chicago Sky are in right now. They lost their coach, their star players wrapped up in a doping scandal, and their season? Total disaster. But here's the thing. Sometimes you need to tear everything down before you can build something amazing. The Sky are on the hunt for a new head coach, and let me tell you, it's not going to be easy. They need someone who can handle the pressure, rebuild the team's reputation, and get those wins rolling in. It's like trying to find a unicorn in a horse stable. Not impossible, but definitely a challenge. And it's not just about finding a new coach. The Sky need to rebuild trust, both within the team and with their fans. Imagine being a player on that team right now. You're probably feeling lost, maybe even betrayed. The Sky need to show their players that they've got their backs, that they're committed to creating a positive, ethical environment. Nadia Rawlinson, one of the Sky's owners, said it best. After careful consideration, we have decided it is in the best interest of the organization to part ways with head coach Teresa Weatherspoon. Translation: they know they messed up and they're ready to make it right. But here's where it gets interesting. The Sky aren't just looking for any old coach. They want someone who can create a playoff contending team, someone who can build a positive culture and keep the lines of communication wide open. It's like they're trying to find a superhero coach who can turn water into wine and losses into wins. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room: ethics. After the whole steroid scandal, the Sky need to lay down some serious ground rules. We're talking crystal clear guidelines, zero tolerance for cheating, and a big ol' spotlight on integrity. They need to make sure every player, coach, and staff member knows exactly what's expected of them. But you know what's even crazier? This whole mess could actually be a good thing for the Sky. Yeah, you heard me right. It's like when you break your phone and have to get a new one. Suddenly you've got all these cool new features you never knew you needed.
Caitlin Clark is box office. She is a star, and Angel Reese is to be completely believed that there's no hate. They both get along. They're cool with each other. They're high-end competitors, etc., etc.
And a lot of people, when you're going through a lot of things, just kind of throw the towel in. But that's not something this team did. We played hard all the time.
She's been phenomenal. I'm not surprised.
The Sky have a chance to rebuild from the ground up. They can create a team culture that's all about transparency, accountability, and trust. Imagine a locker room where every player feels valued, where communication flows freely, and where winning isn't just about what happens on the court, but how you play the game. And it's not just about the Sky. This could be a wake-up call for the entire WNBA. Other teams might start looking at their own practices, tightening up their ethics policies, and focusing more on creating positive team cultures. It's like the Sky could accidentally become trendsetters in the best possible way. But let's be real, it's not going to be easy. The Sky are going to face some serious challenges. They need to find the right coach, rebuild team morale, and win back the trust of their fans. It's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube while riding a unicycle. Tricky, but not impossible. The key is going to be communication. The Sky need to be open and honest about what went wrong and how they're going to fix it. They need to keep their players in the loop, listen to their concerns, and make sure everyone feels like they're part of the solution. It's like group therapy, but with more basketballs. All right, let's talk about the big picture here. This Weatherspoon-Reese scandal, it's not just about one coach and one player, it's shaking up the whole WNBA. You know what's crazy? It's showing us how important it is to play fair, both on and off the court. Coaches aren't just there to win games. They're supposed to be role models, guiding players to be their best selves. When that trust breaks down, it's not just the team that suffers. It's the whole sport. So what's the takeaway? We need to keep our eyes open. As fans, we've got to demand better from our teams and our league. It's not just about winning, it's about doing it the right way. The WNBA's got a chance to step up here, to show that integrity matters just as much as skill. Let's see if they take it.